What up, gang? We're back for another topic tonight, but first we got to introduce some friends of ours here. We got Michael Patrick from Resist for Humanity. Man, what's up, brother?
What's up, motherfuckers?
Yeah. So let everybody know what to expect if they come to see you at Resist for Humanity on TikTok. What can they expect?
I bring it. Come to see me on TikTok, man. That's my favorite platform. Resist for Humanity.
It's a fun little playground, isn't it?
I have a blast. It's by far the best social media platform. Period.
Yes. And we got Matt down here with Mute the Media.
What's up, guys? Like you said, Matt from Mute the Media. I'm on TikTok, across social media, but my main spot is TikTok right now. And like the name says, Mute the Media, looking to become more critical with our sources and how we kind of evaluate our information and how we inform our worldviews, right? The reality is there's good, bad, shit media, and it's kind of our job as consumers with the paradigm shift and how information's kind of changed, right? Once upon a time, there's a few news sources out there. Now it's on us, right? And we got to be more responsible with this. So kind of hope to give people the tools and expose some of the BS in the media system and all that jazz. So, yeah.
Great. Hashtag Mute the Media, man. I love it. Okay, Mia, what do you got for the honest, up for the low tonight?
Okay, tonight we're going to be talking about how the Pentagon is not making the decisions. Joe Biden is making the decisions. And he is going to be taking the military out of Afghanistan by September 11th. Although I've heard some people here have some doubts about that.
I don't believe it'll happen. I think they're just pushing it out again. I mean, I've heard that we've been leaving Afghanistan for so many years, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen. And hey, prove me wrong, Joe Biden. Prove me fucking wrong. I'd love to be wrong.
Here's what I'm gonna say on this. One, it's never a good idea to announce when you're leaving. So I don't think that's what they're doing. I'm gonna give Joe Biden the benefit of the doubt for the first time in my life, right? Because I had very low expectations. He's exceeded them every time. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It's like Twilight Zone, right? So I believe that he pushed it back to September 11th because that would be the latest date, worst case scenario. He's setting himself up for success. Just like with COVID-19 vaccines, he said July. What do you know? It's April. He's already met the goal in April. So I think he's kind of doing that thing to give the region time to settle down. Because what happens when you announce you're leaving? The region quiets down and they save their resources and they assemble for a mass collective once you leave. Just like in Vietnam. As soon as we left, they took over. It's the same thing. This is history writing itself. So if he says September 11th, it's a patriotic virtue signal to the right, if you will, too, to get them on board to shut the fuck up and get on board with it. But I think he's announcing it and they're going to pull out sooner. I really do think they're going to pull out sooner because Trump's for May, his May one wasn't 100% withdrawal. It was decreasing to a couple, like 1,000 or something like that, like a glorified security force. I think Biden has already been talking about, not Biden, his team has been talking about handing it over to different factions, Iran and Saudis or whatever, to kind of be the new police force, the NATO forces. You guys come do it. This is your neighborhood type of thing. That's my hope. I'm still very cynical because Obama did the same thing and they twisted the screws on him and he sent more. He doubled it.
So here's the problem. Like, first he said, we have this habit of saying we're going to do this thing where we're going to leave and we don't do that thing, right? And then second, extending the timeline that long gives us that much more time to find reason to justify staying there longer, right? So, dude, we could pull out. We're supposed to have already pulled out. There's no need Joe Biden needs to come in unless, and if there's a reason, he could communicate that, right? Like, why do we need, if we've been talking about pulling out for this long, Trump was supposed to do that in some extent, right? Why do we need almost a year? Because I'm open to that. Like, okay, maybe there's some logistical things I don't understand or whatever, right? That makes sense. Let's hear those things then. At this point in time, they have no fucking credibility. So I want to know why, and yeah, man. And so here's the thing: have we talked about how Afghanistan plays into our opioid crisis, right? And heroin and all that jazz. Go look at the rates of that. Go look at how much that shit jumped post 2001. So we got a lot of reasons why we don't want to leave Afghanistan.
My hubby is very, very informed about the poppy fields in Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
I've read some interesting articles about that, and I don't know if it's vetted. I haven't personally reached the level where I'm willing to say that's 100% accurate, but the articles were saying, we were in there securing those fields and pulling the opium out. So
Kind of like an oil field, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
There's other minerals that people don't realize are in those mountains. That mountain range is a mineral resources. I think is it silica? It's for microchips and shit, for making solar panels and stuff. Like our infrastructure depends on those minerals, and that's another vested interest we have as a company.
And we have a chip shortage happening too, where I'm very pessimistic. I think this is buying time to figure out a reason or justification to alter or change the conflict in some way. But the military industrial complex, I think, runs the show. And
well, I can't say this much. If Biden is planning on doing that, he's going to have to eat a lot of crow, because we have an actual quote here. We cannot continue this cycle of extending or expanding our military presence in Afghanistan, hoping to create ideal conditions for the withdrawal and expecting a different result. It's going to be very hard to make that argument after saying that.
Because he just kind of addressed my whole logistical thing, right? Like some of logistical issues pulling out. He's like, there's never going to be a good time. So, good point. Yeah, good quote.
Well, and the other thing he's also said, guys, is he said, we've reached our 2 objectives that we were told about this. And they showed a George Bush clip. We're there to get rid of Osama bin Laden, murder him. 2 is decrease the, the safe haven state of Afghanistan for the Al-Qaeda, They're all done. So what's our objective now? So even Biden even said that, which, again, shocking. He's been a career war hawk. He voted to go to invade Iraq, so
I've got a theory on that.
Here's another strong statement that I think we should read here real quick. Mm-hmm. President Biden has made a judgment that those are manageable concerns and not as important as drawing American participation to an end. And so everybody shut up and did it, said Corey Sheikh, the director of Foreign and Defense Policy at the American Enterprise Institute. So strong words.
Very strong, especially in that context. That's kind of to that point, though. To your point, boy. Biden's been a part of all of this, right? He's been there for decades. He's been a part of this. Mm-hmm. We like to play this game where we're like, oh, like this guy's evil, this guy's bad. But the reality is this dude had a worldview that we all very fundamentally disagree with, for at least for sure, for the most part of his life, right? But I would find it hard pressed to say this guy doesn't love this country, right? Doesn't love the red, white, and blue.
I would agree with that, yeah.
And so I think at his state, at his age, he's seeing what he did with Obama. He's seeing his career, right? And he's seeing what's happening right now. And I think this dude actually wants to save this ship. I think he actually wants to save the ship from sinking. Like, I don't think he's got really great long-term ideological. I'm sure he does. We all do. But I think his goal is actually just to save this ship from sinking. Like, and then whatever happens next, it's up to us. But
I think he's securing his legacy twofold. 1, COVID. 2, end a 20-year war. That will secure his legacy. 3, the one we don't see coming, him stepping down and handing it over to the first woman of color, Kamala Harris.
Wow.
One thing,
wow.
COVID. Think about this. He ends COVID within his first 2 years. He gets us out of Afghanistan in his first 6 months. 9 months by September. Let's say it takes, that's 10 months. Less than 10 months. Has addressed COVID, which we haven't done yet. We have the variant. That's a problem. But he's at least doing what he said he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
2, get us out of Afghanistan. And I'm telling you, if he does 2 years and 1 day, Kamala Harris becomes president and gets to run for 2 terms.
Wow.
That.
If he
that's how you secure
that, and
to give away. Let's also talk about his ego. This is an ego thing too.
Well,
he's going to be the great white hype savior type of thing. That's his generation, is the white savior. Hand it over. I had the keys. I'm going to hand it over to the woman of color type. That's just my opinion. That's my forecast.
The easiest way to make an excuse for that would be to have any form of health issue at all could be an excuse to. And he's at an age where anything could be that health issue. Just like I got an arrhythmia. Bye.
Yeah, but you got to appeal to his ego.
He wants
He's
to give it away. He
he's
doesn't
an
want to have it
ego-
taken. He wants to give it away.
That's right. It's an ego-driven person. He's been there for 40 years. He wants to secure his own legacy infallibly.
All,
And
I mean,
to say that he gave it away. Like George Washington is revered for that.
He is
Exact
the
same
guy who
thing.
ran for president 3 times.
Yep. Yeah, well, I know. And he failed until one person in South Carolina decided we're gonna go out, we're gonna roll with Joe Claiborne. That's it. Claiborne, he owes Claiborne his career.
He does. That's politics. It's about relationships, building relationships and trust over years and decades. And
But I want to double back to what Matt was saying, though. I think he was a player of the time, but he's a victim of the times as well.
Mhm.
You know, that's trying to do the right thing with the information they had. They thought they were weapons of mass destruction. Okay, they weren't. You know, I don't know. Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I just don't know. I don't know what they knew. We'll never know what they knew. And I'm not saying he's a quote unquote actual victim, but it's just like me used to tell gay jokes in high school.
Mhm.
I'm a victim of the cultural times where that was not frowned upon enough.
I think a better example I would utilize would be the crime bill, because I think America, there's no American can escape our foreign policy. We all own that shit, whether we want to or not. I have to own that shit because I didn't, it is what it is. We own that shit. Like the crime bill, for example, I think would be a better. I guess I got what you're saying, but like with that one, I think given the information people had at that time, I don't think Joe Biden's goal was to purposely disproportionately impact black people at that point in time. I don't believe that. Now, did that bill do that? 100,000, 10%. Could people have seen that happening? Had they understood the system? 100, absolutely. But I don't think that was like his goal. You know what I'm saying? And I do think he understands some of those things as he gotten older. He still says overtly racist things at times because he comes from an era that was colorblind, right?
Man.
But that's the difference. That's why that what about doesn't work though, because yeah, these old white men are racist, right? Obviously, because 50 years ago they all didn't like Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't just like change, right? So yeah, these dudes have some racism in them. Absolutely, we all like if we're all pale, we've all probably got something, right?
it's not that long ago. Like if you think about it, like I mean, it's just the other day.
But
I was trying to explain this to my.
The key difference here between the two of them, I'll let you guys, because I know I'm kind of rambling, is that while they both have this, one's actually working now to do something about it. One literally emboldens the worst of it. So
Yes, that's very true. But but the thing is, Biden is on the record. All the Pentagon officials like, no, we got 1,000 reasons. Fuck your reasons. I'm the boss. I think what is unique about Biden, he's earned some respect from being part of the system for so long that those generals know that for him to go on the record, that means something. You know what I mean? Like, I really do think that he has a lot of sway and I won't say earned respect, but nonetheless, it was earned in their circle. In their circle is like, he scratched their back and he's like, I'm not scratching it this time. Sorry, guys.
they know what he's about, actually, to your point, whether it's like respect or not, they know who he is, right? They know what he's about. They know how he operates. So to this point, if he says this, they actually have, that was one of the inherent issues with Trump. No one knew what the fuck he was doing, right? So like,
Yeah, he was about as predictable as the weather in Michigan.
Don't underestimate the powers that be, though, to force or contrive a situation that.
But Trump proved that they don't have that much power when it comes right down to it. And I think Joe Biden's like, you know what? You're right. I don't give a fuck what you guys say. If I make it my point, you will toe the line or I will roast your ass publicly. And they won't do it like Trump did. He'll do it in the backdoor way. A leak. That bullshit game they play. The little propaganda machine with the media and CNN. And I heard so-and-so was diddling some kids. You know what I mean? That's how they work. And he knows that dirty ball game.
So you mentioned like legacy and stuff, right? And like to your point, what drives a lot of people's ego and things like that, right? It's undeniable. I know a lot of what drives me is ego, right? I have big goals. I want to accomplish big things. I want to do some crazy shit. A lot of that's ego, legacy, right? So the reality is these people like Joe Biden, he just saw Donald Trump, how he was able to operate, what he was able to do, right? And there's no doubt about it. He's coming in here now. To your point, he's like, yo, no, if this guy was able to do all this, this, and this, you sure as hell can get in line if I say do this, this, and this, right? And so, and there's just way more credibility. You don't have to be like lawful evil is better than chaotic evil for the most part.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like this gives us a chance to, so your
Yeah.
window of opportunity is a little bit bigger under Joe Biden than it ever would have been under Trump. So
Yeah, that's one of the, that's where that. Go ahead, Mia.
The gears still run with lawful evil. So your society keeps chugging along. You've got places you can insert things to try and, oil the machine a little bit better and ways to fix it.
Well, you can build the plane while you fly it, kind of deal. And that's what we've been doing for a long time. We're at low altitude though.
we're not building as we're flying anymore. It's on autopilot, and we're all just chilling, playing games on our phones right now, man. Like,
While it's falling apart.
but we can't hear it because we're plugged in, bro. There's too much noise. We can't even hear it.
The system's too complex. We're all specialized, and we've become like a country or society of specialists, but no one is overseeing the entire process anymore. And I don't think anyone has a full picture of the whole machinery.
That's kind of why. That's kind of why, like, society and media. Like, so have you, like, your society looks like what your media looks like, because your media looks like what your language and communication looks like, right? And so with a really fragmented media structure, right, you have a really fragmented society. Like, it's just like how, like, it's just, I mean, I'm open to pushback on that too. That's just kind of what I think. But like, to me, it kind of connects. So
we're all a little skeptical of Joe Biden's idea of September 11th. Some are more skeptical, some are more optimistic.
You guys shifted me a little bit.
That's the thing. As pessimistic as I am about some things, I'd love to be wrong on them, because and he has I've been surprised by some of his actions. The child UBI thing, for instance, I didn't see that coming.
Right, but here's the thing. I think his ego will be a useful participant in good decisions in the future. I really do think so. That's why I'm optimistic. I think his ego will propel him to want to be a great person remembered in history. He's a very family-oriented person. That's the one thing I give him on the trail. He always talked about his family, his kids, and his grandkids. And he's always talking about that. Like, I want to leave a better planet. First thing he did, shuts down the pipeline. Think about that. That's the first thing he did. He says, I can fix that. SWIP. Done. Second thing, we're going to go to all electric cars. Think about that. Those are two huge signals that he's committed to the environment. That blew my fucking mind. Blew my fucking mind. Then he's done the right things for COVID. And the worst thing he's done is trip up the stairs once. Okay. That's how I see it. We're all skeptical because we have learned from history that there's a reason for skepticism. But I'm going to remain hopeful. I think we won't stay in there until September 11th. I know there's an opportunity for them to set up a backdoor channel to extend it by creating, a false flag. I know the conspiracy theorists are going to have a heyday. They're going to make a false flag. You'll see on September 4th at 3 p.m. They're going to make all kinds of predictions, right? But they're all going to be wrong. But yeah, so we have an opportunity to be proven wrong again historically. And Joe Biden, good luck to you, brother. And thank you for doing the right thing. Sometimes I'm good with that. But yeah, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this in the comments section, man. And where do you fall on the scale of skepticism? Let's slide out the skeptic scale. 1 poop emoji to 5 poop emojis. 5 poop emojis, he's full of shit. He's a squirrel turd, right? There's no way in hell we're leaving. I'm one turd emoji right now. I really think he's gonna leave. I think we're out.
You moved me from a 3 to a 2.
Ayo.
Oh.
You moved me from a 4 to a 3.
I'm totally on it too. Because I
Where
read
you at? How many poop emojis you gonna give me, Amia?
2.
2 poop emojis.
I'm steadily at that though, because I read the article before we had the discussion and kind of made up my mind then.
Mm-hmm. So we have not 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 8 poop emojis with a possible 20. That's not bad. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. And like always, gang, baby.